Modern work culture rewards the grind, the idea that sheer willpower and waking logic are the primary drivers of success. But biologically, forcing your mind to operate this way creates a bottleneck. Throughout most of your day, your brain produces electrical pulses between 14 and 21 cycles per second. This is the beta state, a high-frequency, high-stress rhythm designed for survival and physical action. Because beta is a high-impedance state, it acts like electrical resistance in a circuit. It creates a chaotic environment where complex problem-solving is difficult, leading directly to the mental exhaustion we call burnout. When you struggle with a creative block, you aren't suffering from a lack of talent. You are simply attempting to process high-level information on a frequency that isn't built to handle it. Clinical research into high achievers reveals a consistent anomaly. The top 10% of innovators don't do their heavy lifting at beta. Historical figures like Thomas Edison appeared to bypass standard logic to find their best ideas. Edison famously used daytime naps to reach a twilight state between waking and sleep. He claimed his best inventions came from out of space, appearing as fully formed solutions the moment he stepped away from his analytical mind. In 1944, Jose Silva began a 22-year investigation to see if this genius could be quantified. Using early EEG technology, he monitored brain activity to find the specific electrical signature of these breakthroughs. Silva found that these flashes of insight weren't mystical accidents. They were the result of a measurable biological shift that his research suggested could be taught to anyone. This raw EEG readout shows the brain's electrical output. Just like a computer, your mind functions on specific frequencies, which scientists categorize into 4 distinct ranges based on their cycles per second. When you close your eyes and relax, that erratic electrical activity smooths out. The brain frequency drops into the alpha range. At exactly 10 cycles per second, the brain reaches its most rhythmic and energetic state, operating with the least amount of electrical impedance. Lowering your frequency doesn't mean you are losing consciousness. It means you are clearing the electrical noise, allowing your brain to process data with much higher efficiency than it can in a waking state. In the standard beta state, a logical left brain is dominant. It filters out the more subtle, intuitive signals from the right hemisphere, effectively isolating your analytical abilities from your creative ones. Dropping to the 10-cycle alpha frequency synchronizes these two hemispheres. It creates a state where logic and intuition work in tandem rather than competing for attention. Silva's case studies showed that at this depth, the mind begins to detect information beyond the reach of the 5 physical senses. He theorized this synchronization allows the brain to act as a receiver for intelligence that is otherwise blocked by the static of waking life. This makes the alpha state a biological bridge, giving your conscious mind the ability to intentionally access and analyze information that usually remains buried in the subconscious. You don't need a lab or years of training to find this frequency. Silva discovered that the human hardware has a built-in shortcut to trigger the alpha rhythm instantly. The process is purely mechanical. It begins by closing your eyes and shifting your gaze upward behind your eyelids. When you turn your eyes upward at an angle of roughly 20 degrees, it physically signals the brain to slow its electrical activity and begin producing alpha waves. This simple physical adjustment acts as a circuit breaker, intentionally disconnecting you from the high-impedance beta environment. To maintain this level without drifting into sleep, you combine the eye trigger with a structured reverse mental countdown, like counting from 100 down to 1. Repeating this process daily for 40 days trains your brain to recognize and hold this frequency. It effectively builds a permanent neural pathway to your center. This training ensures that you can enter the subconscious while remaining fully alert. You aren't just meditating, you are learning to use a different part of your mind to solve problems. By mastering this 10-cycle frequency, you move beyond the struggle of the beta world. You are commanding the same mental mechanics that geniuses use to turn a creative